Have you ever felt used, confused, or emotionally drained by a woman who pretended to love you, but only played with your heart? Why does she pull you close just to push you away? Why are you giving your all, while she gives just enough to keep you chasing? This stops now. It's time to take control, master your emotions, and see through the manipulation. In this video, we reveal 10 powerful stoic ways to outsmart any woman playing mind games. No begging, no drama, just clarity, strength, and freedom. Watch till the end. Your breakthrough begins today. Way 1. Control emotions. A stoic man doesn't suppress his feelings. He masters them. He understands that every emotional reaction is a signal, not a command. She ghosts you? You don't beg. She flirts with someone else to make you jealous? You observe, but you don't react. Because the moment you act from emotion, she knows she's in control. Women who play games often feed off this reaction. Statistics in behavioral psychology suggest that nearly 70% of manipulative behaviors in relationships are sustained by emotional reactions from the victim. That's a scary number. So the less reactive you are, the less fun the game becomes for her. But how do you do it? You pause, you breathe, you remind yourself that your peace is not up for negotiation. You journal, reflect, and walk away if needed, but you do not explode, lash out, or fall into the trap. Remember this: silence and composure are louder than anger. Have you ever felt like you're emotionally trapped and can't escape the loop of reactions? If yes, drop a comment below, and we might turn that into a full video. And if this is hitting deep, make sure to subscribe now, because what's coming next is even more powerful. Now that you've started mastering your emotions, let's talk about something equally powerful: setting boundaries. Way 2. Set boundaries. It is not about being rude or distant. It's about self-respect. Women test limits. It's natural. But the problem is, most men fear enforcing boundaries because they don't want to lose her. The truth? If she walks away because you stood up for yourself, she was never truly yours anyway. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define what you will and won't tolerate. If she constantly disrespects your time, insults you in front of others, flirts to provoke jealousy, or crosses lines in the name of just playing, you must call it out. Respectfully, directly, and if she keeps doing it, you distance yourself. No drama, just action. According to a 2023 relationship dynamics survey, 61% of women admitted that they respect men more when they uphold personal boundaries without apology. But why is it so hard? Because many men tie their worth to how much they can tolerate. Stop that. Your worth is not in suffering, it's in knowing your line and walking away when it's crossed. If you're still unsure whether something you're facing is manipulation or just a harmless test, comment below. Let's have that conversation. Now here's a twist most men overlook. Mystery is power. You don't need to always explain yourself. Way 3. Stay mysterious. You don't need to be available 24/7. One of the biggest mistakes men make is giving too much too soon, emotionally, mentally, even physically. And when a woman knows everything about you, sees all your cards, where's the thrill? Where's the challenge? Women are naturally predisposed to seek out the unpredictable. The Journal of Social Psychology states that women tend to rate mysterious men as 25% more attractive than overly open or needy ones. That's a noticeable gap. Now consider this. When was the last time you embraced silence? When was the last time you chose not to respond immediately? Not out of pride, but from a placid and self-possessed place? Being intriguing doesn't mean refusing to answer someone's questions. It means that reading between the lines is required. What are your plans for today? Don't overshare your entire schedule. Smile while giving a partial answer. Let her wonder what's on your mind instead of providing an insight into your thought process. You aren't an open book for anyone. You're a memoir that needs unlocking by the reader before it's unveiled fully. It's called Intrigue and Mystery, in which if she cannot predict you, she cannot play you as well. The same goes for social media. Don't post too much on stories or reply with long texts to simple questions. Don't report every single one of your emotions like a small child does. Mood updates every minute isn't telling time after all. Allow her to perceive you as focused and collected, emotionally distant as well as independent from her reactions, where real power lies. Not a fragile vase easily spooked by sudden gusts of wind, digging deep into unrelenting strength within oneself. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how women get more curious when you pull back just a little? How do they suddenly show interest when you stop chasing? That's not a coincidence. It's psychology. And if you've experienced this or want to understand how to stay in control during the talking stage, type mystery wins in the comments right now. Next, we dive into one of the most powerful shifts you can ever make in your life, the decision to stop chasing. Yes, don't chase. Way 4, don't chase. It isn't just about avoiding desperation. It's about reclaiming your self-respect. When a woman plays games with your heart, pulling away when you show interest and reeling you back in when you try to move on, she's not giving you love. She's giving you confusion. And confusion is not connected. Nearly 72% of emotionally manipulated men admit they stayed longer than they should have, just hoping she'd finally treat them right. But let's be honest, if someone wants to be with you, you won't have to convince them. You won't have to beg, text 5 times in a row, or analyze every emoji she sends. Real affection is felt, it isn't hunted. So why do we chase? Because deep down we confuse the thrill of the pursuit with the warmth of genuine love. But ask yourself, is it love or is it a trauma response? Is it you trying to earn the attention of someone who gives just enough to keep you on the hook, but never enough to satisfy your soul? Imagine how powerful you become the moment you stop texting first, stop checking who viewed your stories, and stop trying to win her back. That's not cold. That's stoicism. That's emotional discipline. Remember, what runs from you doesn't deserve you. Now let's move to the 5th point. Know your worth. This isn't some cliche line from a feel-good Instagram post. Way 5, know your worth. This is a principle, a lifestyle. If you don't know your worth, others will assign it for you, and they'll usually undervalue you. Ask yourself, how many times have I tolerated disrespect just to keep someone close? According to a recent survey, over 60% of men said they've compromised their values at least once to keep a woman's attention. That's not loyalty. That's self-abandonment. When you know your worth, you won't tolerate ghosting, breadcrumbing, hot and cold behavior, or the let's see where it goes nonsense. You'll recognize that attention isn't affection and games aren't love. You don't have to prove your value to someone who can't even value themselves. Women can sense when a man is centered, confident, and emotionally grounded. When you radiate self-worth, you don't need to demand loyalty. It shows up naturally. And if someone walks away, you won't chase. You'll hold the door open and stay calm. Because when you respect yourself, the loss of others never feels like a defeat. It feels like divine protection. If you've ever found yourself questioning, but what if she changes? Or maybe she just needs more time. Pause right now and ask, is that your confidence speaking or your fear of being alone? If this message is hitting home, comment below and share your story. You're not alone, and someone else might need to hear what you've learned. And if you're feeling the power in these truths, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Because on this channel, we speak the truth, not fantasy. Now let's step into the 6th principle. Observe actions. Way 6. Observe actions. Not words, not promises, not what she says she feels, but what she shows. Stoicism teaches us that actions are the only truth in a world full of emotional noise. A woman may say, I like you, but if she constantly cancels plans, replies late, or disappears when you need her most, her actions have already spoken, loudly. Over 68% of men involved in inconsistent relationships report emotional fatigue as their top stressor. Not betrayal, not cheating, just the confusion of not knowing where they stand. That's what game players do. They create chaos and feed off your response to it. But when you take a step back and observe, without reacting, you gain clarity. You stop being the puppet and start being the observer. You'll notice the patterns, the lies, the inconsistency. And once you see them clearly, you can't unsee them. Ask yourself, am I reacting to her behavior or am I calmly noticing it? The moment you shift from emotionally involved to emotionally intelligent, the power dynamic changes. You stop trying to control her behavior and start controlling your own. You stop hoping for potential and start valuing patterns. And that is where your freedom lives. If she's hot one day and cold the next, believe the cold. If she shows interest only when you pull away, believe the manipulation. And if she disrespects you once and never acknowledges it, believe the silence. Don't make excuses for people who are showing you who they are. Remember, real love is consistent. It doesn't require decoding. So now I ask you, have you ever seen someone's actions scream, "I don't care," while their words whisper, "I do"? If so, you're not crazy. You're just waking up. And that's a good thing. Drop a comment if this has ever happened to you. Let's turn confusion into clarity together. These aren't just survival tactics. They're tools to become untouchable in your emotional world. Next, we'll uncover a tactic so underrated, yet incredibly powerful. Master silence. Way 7. Master silence. In a world where everyone rushes to speak, to text back, to explain, silence becomes your greatest strength. When a woman plays mind games, often the goal is to stir your emotions, to provoke a reaction, or to keep you in a state of mental uncertainty. She might ghost you for days, then suddenly show up with a casual, "Hey, stranger," expecting you to respond instantly. But when you choose not to reply right away, when you control the urge to speak, you're not being passive, you're being powerful. Mastering silence isn't about ignoring people. It's about using your presence wisely. A study by Psychology Today revealed that 64% of people feel more drawn to those who maintain mystery and emotional discipline rather than those who are constantly available. Silence makes her question, is he losing interest? Did I push him too far? This shift flips the power dynamic. You're no longer the one trying to prove yourself. Instead, you become the one she tries to understand. Ask yourself, are your words helping you or are they being used against you? Silence also gives you time to think, to recenter, and to observe what's truly going on. If anyone watching this has ever struggled with overthinking after sending a long emotional message, ask yourself, did it change anything or did it make things worse? If that hit home, drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. And if you're getting value so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're just getting deeper. Now let's move into something even more transformative. Detach emotionally. Way 8, detach emotionally. This doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop depending. Emotional detachment is the art of caring deeply, but never losing yourself in the process. Many men fall into the trap of emotional enmeshment. They feel validated when the woman shows affection and destroyed when she pulls back. That's not love. That's emotional dependency. True Stoicism teaches us to find peace within ourselves, not through someone else's attention. According to a recent relationship behavior study, nearly 71% of emotionally dependent men admitted they tolerated toxic behaviors just to keep her from leaving. That's a brutal reality. But the moment you detach emotionally, you stop chasing approval. You start seeing things clearly. Is she genuinely interested, or is she just using attention as a form of control? Detachment helps you observe patterns without being clouded by hope. It gives you the power to walk away when something no longer serves your peace. That kind of self-control is magnetic. She may not say it out loud, but a woman feels when a man no longer places his entire worth in her hands. And that changes everything. So have you ever felt like your emotions were being used against you? If so, leave a comment and share your story. Your voice matters here. And if you're learning something valuable, go ahead and smash that like button. It helps this message reach more men who need to hear it. Now on to something that may seem subtle, but it's the line between emotional chaos and emotional strength. Respond, don't react. Way 9, respond, don't react. Reactions are impulsive. They're driven by ego, emotion, and confusion. A woman cancels plans last minute, and your ego screams, "She disrespected me. Let me confront her now." But a response? A response is thoughtful. It's calm. It's based on principle, not pain. When you pause and assess instead of exploding, you take back control of the moment. In a recent survey by Men's Mental Health Network, 57% of emotionally aware men reported that their relationships improved once they stopped reacting impulsively to emotional triggers. That's the power of mindfulness and maturity. When she plays hot and cold, when she gives mixed signals, reacting only gives her more control over your emotional thermostat. But when you respond with clarity like, I noticed a shift in your behavior, and that's not what I accept in my life, you demonstrate high value without drama. This practice takes effort. It takes time. You won't be perfect. But the next time she tries to bait you into an argument or triggers you with subtle disrespect, take a breath. Ask yourself, am I reacting to her games or responding with wisdom? It's okay if you've reacted in the past. We all have. What matters is what you do next. And if you're committed to mastering this level of emotional strength, subscribe now, because every week we drop content that sharpens your mind and protects your heart. And finally, we arrive at what might be the most powerful mindset of all. Focus on purpose. Way 10, focus on purpose. When a woman senses that she is your only source of purpose, it can create an imbalance. She begins to test boundaries to see how much power she holds. But when you shift your attention to your mission, to your growth, your career, your health, your legacy, everything changes. Purpose gives you backbone. It anchors you in something bigger than temporary feelings. According to a Harvard study on male well-being, men who pursued a strong personal purpose reported 43% higher emotional resilience and a significantly lower rate of falling into toxic relationship patterns. Think about that. The more focused you are on your vision, the less likely you are to be manipulated by someone else's games. Your time becomes valuable, your energy becomes sacred, and you stop tolerating confusion where clarity should exist. Women respect men who are driven, not distracted, and no game can work on a man who's too busy building something real. So here's a question for you. What are you building right now that's bigger than her attention? If you don't have an answer, now's the time to find one. Purpose isn't optional, it's essential. In the end, protecting your heart isn't about being cold, it's about being conscious. These 10 powerful Stoic strategies are not tricks or manipulations. They're tools for emotional clarity, self-respect, and personal strength. When you control your emotions, set clear boundaries, and stay mysterious, you create space for respect. When you refuse to chase, know your worth, and observe her actions, you see the truth. And when you master silence, detach emotionally, respond instead of reacting, and focus deeply on your purpose, you become unshakable. You don't need to play her game if you've already outgrown it. Women will either match your energy or remove themselves. Either way, you win. Remember, real strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. If you're tired of being emotionally drained, manipulated, or confused, apply these lessons. Respect yourself first, and the right kind of energy will follow. If any of this spoke to you, drop a comment, share your thoughts, or tell us your story. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Thanks for watching. Stay strong, stay sharp, and stay grounded.